What's good? What's good? What's good? It's your boys, the Homie Trinity. This dude over here is already started. As usual, man. It's your boy E. I'm joined as always by my man Royce and my man Ren. Today, man, we're gonna hit y'all up, man, with just a little bit of Father's Day stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? It is Father's Day is right around the corner for us, and the three of us are proud fathers. I think that kind of goes without saying. If you guys have been listening to us long enough, you know how we feel. You know what I'm saying about celebrating our kids and how proud we are to be fathers. You know what I'm saying? So, but the three of us actually have kind of different experiences, both. You know what I'm saying, as far as becoming a father is concerned. So, I mean, we're gonna kind of talk about that a little bit, and then, of course, you know what I'm saying, shout out the guys that showed us how to do it, man. The thing for me, if you would, as far as becoming a father is, it was a little difficult for my wife and I at first. You know what I'm saying? Like we had to go through some trials and tribulations, and it was interesting. So for me, when I first became a father, man, it was a sigh of relief because we had been trying for a while. There was a possibility that we had to face that we may not be able to have kids. Um, and that was a reality check for me. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like we talked about before, you start checking off the boxes. For me, it was I went to school, never finished, came back, started dating somebody, got engaged, got married, started trying to have kids. And I mean, that's the what you wanted to try and do. But for me, man, it was an experience because we had to go through different, trials, tribulations. Like I said, it was just one of those things where having to sit down, always wanting to be a father, and having to sit down and come to the realization that there was a possibility that it might not happen. It scared the shit out of me, to be perfectly honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like there was some nights there where it was touch and go, in regards to just the range of emotions, if you would. Um, but becoming a father to me, man, it completely and totally changed my purpose. Everything that I thought that was important wasn't as important as I thought it was, because I realized that, when they hand you that little bundle of joy, you know what I'm saying? The first thing that ran into my head was, Jesus, I hope I don't screw this up. You know what I'm saying? Because kids are the one things that you get, man. They don't come with instructions. You know what I'm saying? There's no user manual. There's no, how this is what you do when this happens or anything like that. You kind of rely on the experience of others. And for me, I was one of the last ones in our group really to have kids, you know what I'm saying, or my first kid. And so I was able to rely on the advice of my parents, my in-laws, you know what I'm saying, and other folks. And I mean, Ren, I talked to you a lot, man, you know what I'm saying, when everything was first going down, because it was just one of those things where it was, again, it's new, you know what I'm saying? It's not, change the oil, like, when you get your car and the light comes on, you change the oil. No, when the baby cries, it either wants to eat, it wants to sleep, it wants to go to the bathroom, or a combination of all three, so but when my son was born, man, like I said, it was just one of those things where, one, it was a sigh of relief for me and my wife. And then 3.5 years later, you know what I'm saying, my daughter came around, and I always tell people, they're like, what's the one thing? Oh, we're not financially ready, and this and that. You're never gonna be financially ready.
Never gonna be ready, man.
You're never gonna be ready for kids, man. And it's just one of those things for me. Everything that I do is for my family. Everything that I do, the crazy hours that I work, the 4,000 jobs that I have, the different side hustles and things like that, it's all to try and bring what I feel as if my family deserves to fruition. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, they're my purpose, man. They're my meaning. They're my foundation. Every time that I think that I'm getting ready to crumble, I come home and I realize I can't fold, because if I fold, it doesn't just affect me, it affects everybody else that's inside of this house. And I'm not going to sit here for 1 minute and pretend like I'm doing it on my own. Please know and understand that my wife she's my engine. You know what I'm saying? She keeps me going.
Man, they
But
had Mother's Day. This is Father's Day, yo. Focus. They already get too much, man. The mall's already decorated. Freaking Red Lobster's lines out the door. Like, no, they get the great gifts. We get brute socks. Malls are empty.
And then you get
TV
asked.
If you
dinner.
want a Red Lobster, nah, man, it's all day, yo. Keep shining on you.
But yeah, man, I mean, for me, like I said, it was one of those things, like it was checking off another box, if you would. And having my son just walk across that stage, and we had the
Yeah, man.
graduation
Oh,
conversation and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it lets you know that you're doing things the right way. And we're at the point now where I just hope that everything that I've instilled in him, since he's getting ready to go off on his own, that he takes that to heart. I always tell both of my kids, man, when you come to a fork in the road and you got a decision to make that decision as if your mother and I are standing right next to you. Because if you do that, I have zero doubt that you're gonna make the correct decision. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, it's scary becoming a parent, man. And as they get older and stuff like that, you start living life through them and their experiences and stuff like that. It's a sense of accomplishment, man, when certain things happen. But yeah, being a dad, man, it's everything to me. It's like I said, it's my purpose, it's my meaning.
yeah, fatherhood for me was always a thing in the back of my mind because I had like great examples. So I always knew I wanted to be a pop one day because my father, I tell you, is the most phenomenal cat on the planet. So shout out to Pop, my godfather, Alan Merrin, and then my mentor and Pop 2.0, Jeremiah Gaines. Like I watch these men uh, move in general, not just like professionally, but just like how they did everyday stuff. And it was always family first, and it was like zero complaint. Like they was like we complained about a lot of stuff, but I didn't hear them dudes, either one of them, complain about jack, money, fatigue, pain. Like they just kept moving and they would not stop. And it was like insistent, like support and love at all angles to everybody that was within their camp. For my pops, obviously, like he was the greatest example for me. Like, and he didn't know his father till he was like 13. So I hear a lot of people with excuses, but that dude is like sans excuse. He was raised around a bunch of women and turned out to be the most phenomenal foundation of what it means for me to be a man. Like, no complaint, works hard, loves his wife. To this day, he still walk around holding my mom's hand. Like, God bless him. I don't even do that. Um, busted his tail every day. Like, even now at this age, like I can call my pops right now and be like, Pops, I'm hungry, man. I need some I need some McDonald's fries, or like from a specific location here in Orlando, and that dude will drive an hour and freaking change to go
Don't
get
do
it
it,
for
Royce.
me and then bring it to me. Like, I don't, you can call the store whatever you want, but like to me, that's like I don't ever have to question that. And until he's gone from this planet, I know that there's somebody that's got my back 100 freaking percent, man. So that's my dude. That's my hero. Love him to pieces. Same for my godfather, man. Like, they're an extension. Like in our culture, like a godparent is not just like some person that gives you a birthday gift or, here's a $5 out of my pocket. Like, they're your second set of parents. So that role was taken very seriously for us. And my godfather, my godmother too, but it ain't mom's day, so whatever. He, again, like he would tell me and Mark, like, yo, y'all got to get up, y'all got to make sure the stuff is straight for the ladies. You got to get up, go to church. Like, he was not like playing games with us. He loved us, but he wasn't playing games with us. And I just saw the way he moved, like just nonstop. And then Jerry, man, like Jesus, like I couldn't have asked for another mentor that would like supplement what my father and my godfather said to me all the time. And then being away from my godfather, growing up, your dad's working or whatever. So when I met Jerry, Jerry was at a point where he snagged me up when I could have went way left, and he saw me start to go left, and then he just pulled me by the shirt. Was like, "Nah, we're not doing that." And he just didn't say it. Like, he showed it to me all the freaking time. Like, "We doing this weekend? Nothing. We're going fishing." All right. And then we just sit there, and he would just let me air it out. So he was probably very instrumental as my pops in my development, because he welcomed me into his home. Like, his kids became like my siblings, and he spent a lot of time with me, just nurturing and fostering these values and morals in me. Like, listen, you got to do this, that, and the third, and don't fold, and don't like complain. Like, you have your moment, but figure it out quickly. So those are the blueprints to fatherhood for me. So when we had our girls, I knew I had to follow suit. Like, the shoes were too big. Like, I had to be what they were, if not better. So everything that the girls get is a blessing that came from that molding very early on. So as a parent, I want everybody to know, like, yo, like, you got to like appreciate those moments. If you're a new father, like, don't pass your kids' moments up for anything. I don't care what it is, sports, running around the planet, video games. Like, those moments are so fleeting. It's like Eric said, 1 minute they're here on the planet for the first time, and then next thing you know, they're graduating. And everybody had a graduating person this year. And Royce mentioned that last time. Well, man, like, I remember when she was like 5, and now she's walking out, and I'm like, yeah, it's super emotional for me, man, because I've seen all of them. Like, you two are an extension of me, but I've seen all of our situations up close. So when I'm looking at you guys, I can say I'm very proud of like the men that y'all became and the fathers y'all became. Roy started earlier than us, and like, I was like, wow, this dude, but he never like freaked out. Like, I freaked out, and I had great examples. I was bugging the freak, like, yo, I don't know what to do, but I did know
Can't
what
flinch
to do.
though.
Yeah, I did know what to do, but at the time it was shock. But when I saw Royce move at like, a young age, I'm like, that dude, first of all, he carefree anyway. He don't care about stuff like that. But he didn't show it, that stress. And I was bugged out. So we all had different perspectives. Like, I'm watching him at, late teens. He's just like, moving. He ain't even really complain. Me, I'm freaking out at 20-something. Then I saw you, was like, man, I don't know if this is going to happen. And I think we all turned out to be really great dudes. At the end of the day, like, Royce is all over the planet for his. He works like a Haymon. He got 1,000 jobs for his. I'm going to go to war for mine and any extension of mine. But it's the greatest job that I was honored and privileged to perform on this planet, was to make sure I raised upstanding young people. And I hope, like Eric said, that they turn out the way we sent them out. Whatever we taught them, hope they learned it, appreciate it, and they go out into the world and do the same and be a light to the populace. And if not, it wasn't our fault. We did our best, and the other half probably messed up and do their part. So, I know I did my part, and I'm happy to say that I'm in good company with you, brothers. So, happy Father's Day to both of you. Happy Father's Day to the 3 men that I mentioned. Happy Father's Day to your fathers. Continue to shine, continue to grow, continue to be what we need. Kids need strong fathers, man. Like, you're not supposed to be their friend. If you're a friend, that's a benefit, and that's just a byproduct of the process. But your role is not to be their friend. Your job is to make sure that they're upstanding young, adults when they get out into the world and they're productive and they, do the right things. But to me, it's my greatest honor and privilege to be the parent of Sky and Star Guidi. So love y'all.
Yeah, I mean, how do I follow up you two? I mean, thanks a lot, guys. So first of all, shout out to E's dad, Mr. S. I remember days when I was lifeguarding at the pool, and he would come and I'd see him smack him and Nick around and, be a daddy there. And then, of course, shout out to Mr. G, who was like a second home for me, was always, somewhere that I could go and hide and, and hang out and get, get yelled out in Spanish and have no idea what was going on, even though I took 4 years of Spanish. So shout out to both those fathers, which is an extension, of course, of what you see as what a man should be. My father was the ultimate, should I say, showman of what it should be to be a father. My work ethic, I've said this many times, comes straight from my father. I remember many a nights my dad would get calls in the middle of the night. Probably didn't even know, and he had to go to work, and he never once complained. He never once turned it down. He never once took off. So just the way he handled himself put into me, what I should be doing as a father. As I've gotten older, I've realized my faults as a father, and as Ren alluded to, I had my son at a very young age and had no idea to do, and was more of a friend than a father at the time. And it wasn't until I met my wife and had my daughter, became a father for the second time, that I really matured and learned really what it was to be a father. I mean, I always took care of my son. I was always there for him, but it was more in a friendly role than a fatherly role. And I learned at the detriment of our relationship for a while. I learned that. So if you're listening to this and you're out there and like Ren said, like he said, don't miss out on any of those moments. I mean, you got to pay your bills, you got to make your money, but I've traveled this world and I've missed a lot of things with my kids, and that is a definite no-no. If I'll say anything, be present in your children's lives. Now, my children are great. My children have grown up to be wonderful adults, so I must have did something right. Um, it's just you've got to spend time with your kids, and you've got to impart your wisdom on them, even if they don't want to hear it. Even if you feel like they're not taking it in, you'll be surprised one day when they start doing things that you told them years ago and they don't even realize they're doing it. That's the way I'm with my father. My father instilled stuff into me. My grandfather instilled stuff into me that until I got older and matured, I didn't realize I was doing it. I hear my father's voice in my head every day when I talk to people. I sound just like my father. I act just like my father. The older you get, the more you realize that. So shout out to Big Royce.
Sure.
He definitely was a voice of reason and still is a voice of reason for me. Shout out to my son, another Royce. Just stick in there and it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. That's all I can say. All the fathers out there, you too. We're thick as thieves and we've had to lean on each other for different things. And some days are better than others. Right now, we've all got 3 kids that graduated within the past month or so. So we're going through emotions, Nick. I mean, Eric has the last one left with Lily. Me and Ren, we're going to be sans kids here shortly. But being a father never ends because I'm a grandfather now. And one day, hopefully, you two will be grandfathers also. And just because our kids are out of the house,
save some money, yo. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky
Bobby. Just because our kids are out of the house, it's still, I hope they still, especially Tank Pete. I hope she still calls me and asks me for wisdom as she gets older. She's 10 times smarter than me now, but I'm hoping she needs my wisdom of just the world, the way the world works.
She was 10 times smarter than you when she was 10.
Oh, yes, she was. And she knows it. Like, when she hit 5th grade math, I told her, you better pay attention because you're beyond that. Yes, you're beyond my knowledge now. So,
what's all these boxes and stuff that y'all are drawing? I don't understand how y'all are figuring this stuff out.
You got me. But, shout out to Pops. Thanks for everything. Shout out to all the dads out there. Like you say, this is our day. We deserve it. We ain't got no lines around Red Lobster. Olive Garden ain't staying open extra long, but that Tyson's TV dinner is in the microwave for you. That's all I can tell you. So
crazy. You go to war, you get into TV dinner. They don't even call it TV dinners anymore. Nobody watches TV anymore.
Nah, and for me, man, kind of circling back, I didn't say anything about my pops, but he I think all of us can kind of say it, man. Like the way that we were brought up is different than today. You know what I'm saying? It was a little bit more of that tougher love, you know what I'm saying? And my pops being in the military, man, like he didn't know how to turn off military. So for me, growing up and seeing him, in and out of the house, man, going to this location, going to that location, moving us around and stuff like that. I didn't realize it at the time, but you guys said it, when it comes to us talking about our own kids, they're not going to realize it now, but my dad worked like hard, you know what I'm saying? And he did whatever was necessary to be able to provide for his family. And because of the way that he was, because of the way that he worked is the reason why I am the way that I am now. He laid down that foundation of you are provider, you are, support system. At the same time, he told me something that and it's crazy because I'll never forget when I said it to Nick the first time. And I kind of, after we were done with the conversation, I kind of turned around and went, son of a bitch. But he told me, he was just like, I can't afford to be your friend right now. I'll be your friend later. You know what I'm saying? And I had to really have that heart-to-heart conversation with Nick, man, that, you know, I will become your friend. You're my boy. I love you to pieces. But the friendship portion will come later. And I didn't understand that at first when my dad told me that. But you know, for me, the experience with Pops, man, was, you know, Coast Guard every 3 to 5 years, move out on the boat. You know what I'm saying? But my fondest memories as a kid was when we were able to get on the boat and stay overnight. You know what I'm saying? And we're going down to the mess hall and we're eating in the mess hall. And I got to put these big, huge earphones on my head because dad worked in the engine rooms, which explains the reason why he's deaf now. But you know what I'm saying? Because the craziest part is I always joke with him. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? You're down in the engine room, you have on these headphones, but in order for you to be able to hear the guy across from you, you got to pull the daggone earphone back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nowadays, they got all this, the microphones and all that other kind of stuff. So, but even after he retired, man, it was like, you know, he took his GI Bill and he went and he got his real estate license. And then it was always, you know, on the weekends he was working. But he was there when he was available to be there. And as soon as he went to shore duty, he was there all the time. I had a different experience though when I look at him now, because I promise to God, fellas, he works more now than he does when he was required to punch clock. You know what I'm saying? But now he's doing something that he's passionate about.
Yeah, that he wants to do.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So busy. Yeah.
I mean, you know, we're sitting here yesterday and, you know, I sent you guys the pictures and all that other kind of stuff of the craziness that we had from a weather standpoint. But, you know, he's sitting there and, you know, he gets an email while we're sitting back here at the house after the graduation. He goes, well, got to work a doubleheader tomorrow. So today, because the rain out last night with the tides, he's working 2 games instead of only having to work 1. You know what I'm saying? So, and then he's working tomorrow on Father's Day. My father will be at Harbor Park, probably on the first or third base side. You know what I'm saying? Working the cameras. And, you know, it's that work ethic, man, and that constant go of that's who I am. That's how I'm built. If I'm not moving, man, I think that, you know, money's passing me by or something like that. But at the same time and in the same breath, if something's going on with the kids, you know, I got to make sure that I'm there. And, you know, Pops was hard on us, man. But at the same time, you know, he would leave the house, man, and he'd come out. We'd be at the back end of the court. There'd be 30 dudes out there playing basketball. And he would go, you're allowed in my house. 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 Everybody else, the water faucet is right over there. Just don't forget to turn the water off. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was real, man. Drink right out of the daggone the hose off the side of the house. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time and in the same breath, this is the man that, you know, he would take somebody in if they needed to be taken in. He was hard, but I mean, he showed me what it meant to be a man, what it meant to be a father, what it meant to take care of your responsibilities. And I look at the way that I go at things now, man, and I'm like, man, I'm 100% my pops. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that, you know, like we said, man, I hope that the kids that we have raised see what we are as a father. I hope that all of our daughters see what a good man looks like. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that Royce, in our cases, you know what I'm saying, our sons understand what it means to be a man. And that's the thing as a parent, man. Like you have to guide them through all the ups, all the downs. You got to be there to help them. You got to be there to support them. And for me, man, it was always, I saw a picture one time, man, and it was kind of like that. Was it the Atlas dude that's holding the world like this? And it was this picture of a father holding the world over top of his kids. And inside of the globe, it was fear, distrust, like all these like hard words and stuff like that. And at his feet, his two kids were reading a book. And they had no idea of all the weight of the world that their parent was, you know what I'm saying, prevent from happening to him. And that's kind of always stuck with me, man, because, you know, I want my kids to be productive members of society. And my father taught me how to do that, man. And, you know, without him and, you know, again, without moms, I mean, I would not be the man that I am today. And leaning on good, solid foundational men like yourselves, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to parenting and stuff like that. You guys were there for one of the toughest times of my life recently when my father-in-law passed away. Another phenomenal man, another phenomenal husband, another phenomenal father. but y'all were there to pick me up, man. And from man to man, I can tell y'all thank y'all, because seeing how it's supposed to be done and seeing great men do what they need to do for their families, that's how men like us, we just keep rolling. You know what I'm saying? And it's a factory at this point in time. We just got to keep pushing it with all the mentorship that we do. Royce, you had somebody that came out and visited you not too long ago. He calls you Pops. Ren, the endless number of individuals that you've mentored and stuff along those lines, being in the school system, me with the coaching aspect and stuff along those lines. It's important to me to show these young men, look, man, this is how it's supposed to be done. So appreciate it, Pops. Thank y'all.
Thanks to all the dads out there.
All the dope dads, yo.
Yep, all the dope
dads.
Right
there that busted ain't doing nothing. Y'all pieces of shit. But the ones like us, like, definitely enjoy your day. Make sure you're treated properly. Eat what you want. Drink what you want. Hang out with who you want. Play whatever video game you want, or go hang out wherever you want. It's your day. You earned it. It's President's Day for us, and don't let anybody take it away. And if they give you socks or brutes or anything like that, tell them to go back to the store, get you something that's worthy of a receipt, because we don't want drawers, socks, or deodorant anymore.
Shout out all the Penner uncles on my side, and my father-in-law, Robert Thomas. Appreciate all the help. Been very instrumental in helping me out too. So
fathers out there that I love, y'all go out there and do your thing, man. Enjoy your moment.
Do your thing. Do your thing.
You know who you are.
As always, man, we want to thank y'all for joining us, man. Like and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all the social medias. And I mean, y'all know what it is, man. It's the Homie Trinity. Peace.